Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I have the pleasure of declaring open MIHAS 2021.
Mike. Your mic. We cannot hear you. Nakib, your mic.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Terima kasih kerana sudi bersama dengan kami dalam slot Bullish Business at Road2Haramain.
Alhamdulillah.
Ya, day 4 hari keempat dah hari ini. Masya-Allah tabarakallah, kita banyak dah berkongsi pertama dengan semalam tentang company yang bernama SDBS, ya, di mana diorang sedang mencari potensi-potensi digital entrepreneur yang mahu mengembangkan idea-idea mereka semua dan untuk diperkenalkan bukan saja di Saudi tetapi juga di seluruh dunia, masya-Allah. Jadi kita kembali balik bersama dengan saya Datuk Tuan Haji Abdul Rahim, iaitu CEO DAR Ehsan, untuk kita borak-borak santai bersama petani. Assalamualaikum Datuk.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okey, jadi kita hari ni kita borak-borak, kita tahu sekarang ni ya, zaman digitalization, zaman pandemik ini, semua orang dah go digital sekarang, ya. Dah jarang dah orang tak ramai dah, macam maksudnya orang-orang dah mula pergi ke digital, pergi ke arah software, bina software, create apps, application. Jadi apa pendapat Datuk tentang benda-benda ni?
Okay, thank you very much Brother Nakib. Okay, izinkan saya sampaikan perbincangan hari ini dalam bahasa Inggeris. Saya faham bullish business tujuan untuk membullish kita punya business. Jadi kami ingin menggunakan bahasa Inggeris untuk menyampaikan kepada masyarakat di luar sana bagaimana situasi bisnes dan bagaimana kita sempena Mihas boleh membulishkan bisnes. Ya, baik. Thank you very much, Brother Nakib. Okay, today the weather is nice in Malaysia. The door are open. All the challenges for the gap between states are starting and losing up. The traffic have been floating very quickly since yesterday, and also from here onwards on 15th of September, I hear the announcement for flights coming in with the special SOP or standard operating procedures, as well as destination on 16th of September to be open in Langkawi, for example, one of the best destination ever for tourists. I think it's time for us to actually prepare for a new coming back. But the new coming back with the pandemic, surprisingly, yesterday the numbers of deaths are increased 200%. So what I'm trying to share with you today, beside the sadness of our what they call it, those who we lost them during pandemic, but nevertheless, life has to go on. And what we want to share with you today is actually after the pandemic or within the duration that we are now in the middle of the new coming back. We had this experience before from the first what they call it pandemic last year, and then suddenly we has to close down again. And viewing at, I still remember at the Malaysian news on, for example, the numbers who have been increased in US and then competing with some country and up and down and up and down. I think it was like the graphic that we didn't have it now as for now in terms of showing at the media. But what I'm trying to share with everybody is that that graphic now means a lot to us in Malaysia because of during the pandemic we were actually very worried, and the lockdown was badly affecting the business community. But now with the current situation, I would share with you that, frankly speaking, we should not be comfortable as before. We should not be happy as before to that opening, but we have to be extra careful. One part, the other part, whatever digitalization scenario that we have been into it for the past, I would say, I don't want to say a few years, but especially these 2 years is has educated us enough to know that this pandemic is very what they call it destructive towards the economy. If we stay as we are or we feel comfortable, we won't be able to make it. So I still hear, like, for example, AirAsia CEO who have been doing a series of so to call sharing with public on what is his activity, what is his scenario, how he outcome or how he overcome the challenge of the aviation industry. But if we look at the small kiosk of burger in Malaysia who have been working slightly during pandemic, the sales increase online via all these e-hailing services like Grab, Foodpanda, and other application. But nevertheless, now with the opening, he felt that actually the sales of the online will gradually decrease, and he have to go back to the shop. But in actual fact, from my experience, I'm running 3 outlets. The sales, yes, has increased in Bukit Bintang. The sales has increased in Cyberjaya, but not in Putrajaya yet. But what I'm trying to say, based on my experience on this with the Laziz Express, we still has short of sales that cannot cover all our expenses, especially the high rental and also the outstanding of what they call it grocery as well as workers. It is not an easy situation or the decision that we have to make. But frankly speaking, if we look at the scenario, at any time, if you have experienced another bad scenario with locking down, the impact will be double. Reason why? Because probably sometime people, when they feel comfortable, they start up again. So they go into a very aggressive way. But sometimes this aggressiveness sometimes causes us additional damage. So we have to be very careful. And coming back, what I'm trying to say is like this: if you have equipment and your equipment is okay, fine, you don't need to change it now. This is not the time. This is not right time to change. But if you, for example, have a shop that you have already let go, and you want to take back the shop, but you have to pay a lot of money, I really advise you to think twice, because for a two simple reason. The first reason, yes, maybe you can see 1 or 2 days of very good transaction and sales, but that does not reflect the whole scenario. One part. The other part, if for example you have some surplus or some additional cash from a few days, please be careful and save it, because if it doesn't happen again, alhamdulillah. But if happen again in terms of lockdown, then we will have a lot of challenge. So answering the question of digitalization, we was I think the business was good for some of us who have digitalized their business. But de-digitalize, what I mean by that is that already you digitalize, already you have your customer base for delivery, already you have customer base for outside what they call it orders. Do not underestimate that. Keep it up and keep pushing, because if you feel that now you are busy and you don't want to entertain anymore the online sales, you are wrong, because may not go very long open. I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but beside that, you have to be extra careful of your cash. You have to be extra careful of your spending, and I believe this. We should be careful, really, especially business community, because we need to recover back, because all this moratorium already up. Those suppliers who have been kept shut down because of your unoperating what they call it outlet, but now everything is operating, so you will start having a lot of query for a lot of things, and taxes coming as well. I mean, so many things coming at one time. So if you are not prepared, you will be facing a second wave of not corona, not MCO, but actually recovering plan for your financial aspect, which you need to be very careful and ready for that. So I pass the mic back to Nakib. Maybe you have another question. Thank you.
Okay, mashallah, tabarakallah. Thanks for sharing the tips towards us. So for those who are watching out there, thank you so much. Thank you so much for sticking with us. And don't forget to share and also comment your opinion here, and share this page to all the business page that you know, so that we can give some let all these people share all their knowledge, because we need all the knowledge that we can, all the data and information that we can, to survive in today's pandemic, mashallah. So thank you very much once again. And then what you said just now, that we need to save, saving, like save the money for any types of accident or any type of a disaster, right? So it reminds me of a story of Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, where when he was a minister in Egypt, right, for the country Egypt. So the king had a dream, that they had the dream, and when he translate the dream, he knows that the country will have a drought for a very long time. 7 years, it's a very, very long time. So what he did, what Prophet Yusuf did, he saved all of the sources of the resources, the country resources, the food, water, and all the stuff, so that he can use during the disastrous time. So mashallah, it is really true, because in this disastrous time we need to save more. But that does not mean that we cannot use the opportunity to expand our resources. Right? We still need to expand our resources, but we need to be careful that we're not going to let it go to waste. And then what you said about cut loss. If we cut loss, if we have to cut loss a business, does it mean that we have to change the whole business? I mean, if like you are, for example, if you are selling a goreng pisang or whatever, and then nobody's want to buy goreng pisang anymore, right? So if you want to cut loss, does that mean that you have to change your the business strategy, or all the business industry? Mean like you are not encouraged to sell any more goreng pisang. Sell anything else beside that. What do you think about this, Datuk?
Yeah, very good questions. Actually, like this, during pandemic, I'm sure there is a lot of people who have changed their actual business in divert into another business. For example, most of our colleague in the travel industry, for Hajj and Umrah industry, has totally changed, because total freeze, suddenly you don't have any business, zero income at all. And not only that, perhaps on the travel industry, they have a lot of payments that had been done, and the amount are also big. It is not like the retail business or even a wholesale food business, because in the travel industry, especially those who are doing Hajj and Umrah, people already paid. Then suddenly, what they call it, the normal circle, the normal circle exercise of the so-to-called cash flow, what they call it at any company, especially services sectors, if they separate the account of the payable and also the deposit from each other, and only utilize the profit margin, then they are fine. But I believe most of the travel agents who at least you have some damages up to 30 or up to sometime 50%. The worst scenario is that if he himself, as a travel agent or travel industry, who have put up also his what they call it funding towards the reserve of flights, the reserve of hotel, and designing the package with a lot of things, including merchandise items like bags, etc. Plus that he have stretched out his overhead by having many branches and many staff. So indirectly, when the heat first started, there is a rumors that okay, it will open after 2 months, 3 months. Hajj is coming, and then after Hajj, immediately will open up, and again, yes, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, next week, next month. So these people has already changed. But what I want to advise from my humble experience, I myself changed as well. But what I'm trying to say is like this: through the process that we have done in terms of business, we need to understand that it's whatever we change, we have to know what is the impact to us, our customer, say our customer or clientele, our customer background, our products, deliverable quality, etc., etc. I myself have challenged. If I, in the, I mean, in the 3 months ago, I conduct one new services and product, and I stuck because of the supply and demand, and because of the supplying to contractor and coming back into the what they call it, the cash flow that we have to bear to complete the job, and then after that, what they call it, we stuck. Okay, so during this pandemic, I myself, I think, has few challenges. Okay, whether from team or from business or from products. So every segment has its own challenge. But what I'm trying to share from my humble experience in bullish business, first you have to understand that if you change your direction towards new business, you have to fully understand that the learning curve, if you don't get the learning directly from Sifu, the cash flow, if you don't have cash flow and yet you have to invest into this, In the third thing, which is the most important, is that you have the ability to deliver at the best level. And that also sometimes or most of the time we cannot, for a simple reason, we are panicking. We are, what they call it, the button of emergency is already nearby to press. Plus, frankly speaking, also, I mean, sometimes we don't give ourselves a solid time frame for us to deliver for our own task. And this, in this scenario, this is what will happen: is that you get what they call it, tied up, and you get you lost your progress, and then at the end it will affect your results. So in general, brother Nakib, what I'm trying to say is like, coming back from this pandemic with the ability to compete, please do not simply change your business, because the people out there, although you don't touch them, you don't feel them, you don't know them, but they are faster than before in getting a small tagline. For example, said Dar Ehsan, what they call it, doing, for example, recruitment, and that will change the whole things. Because the moment, for example, you do recruitment and you're also consultant and you're also business development and you're also export and import, what they call it, affiliate, then suddenly become you want to do delivery. It will affect your reputation, one part. The other part, if you're going to do it at that level that makes you relevant to the industry, that's very good. If you feel that you will do this one with expertise, but then you don't build from zero, that's even better. Because nowadays the learning curve is very expensive, very expensive. And being almost 50, I always believe, and I always like to share with my friends, family, my team. I always like to share with them what I have experienced, and that experience you cannot find it at university. You cannot find it at the training center. You only find it when you are at the situation, looking at how you want to survive, looking at. I mean, I'm sure your surrounding is actually sometimes interrupting you. For example, somebody need help and you cannot help him, but suddenly happens something to him bad and you feel very bad. So this is one scenario. Another scenario, you have your children has so many things that they want to do, but you cannot fulfill. Why? Because pandemic has affected your business. So this is many tests, beside even of course your partner in life, wife also will have certain aspects. So I hope, I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that our friends out there, especially those who are in business, please don't suddenly change and you said, oh, I'm coming back to my industry. My industry is already strong enough. I will go and bye-bye. I want to leave this e-commerce. I want to leave this drop sheet. I want to leave this sharing. I want to leave this application or what they call it, affiliate. I want to go back to my office. I want to go back and do whatever I'm doing for the past 25 years because I'm experienced with that. But we forget, like that's Azizan so, we forget that we actually has been shutting down for 2 years. So what we are losing? We are losing the expertise that was with us. We're losing the client that dealing with us. We are losing track into what is the new things in the industry. So all of that, 2 years of recovering, suddenly you want to do it that way, you will have two big problems. The first problem, you need to have money. Why? Because you want to get back to your business. And second, you have to have enough sales to cover your debt of 2 years. So my humble experience is like this. If you are travel agents and previously you are doing flowers, keep the flower. Don't what they call it, stop or don't kill the flower. Leave it as it is, gradually. If you want to come back to your main industry, can, but you have to be careful, because those who are used to be your clients for the past maybe 20 years, but now if you tell them let's go to UK for shopping, maybe he will think twice. You tell him let's go to Hollywood because we're going for jalan-jalan and celebrate your birthday there with your friends. and you pay for everybody, maybe he will doubt for that. Not about money only, not about that he trusts you or he don't trust you, not about your rate is expensive. No, 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 no. It's not about that. Maybe a fear of the society of traveling abroad. Maybe that country itself has restriction for people coming in. So there is many things. So my advice is that please do not panic again. Like panic in purchasing goods, in panic in cooking, in panic in coming back, in packing, and panic in even going to hospital. So enough panic, no panic, yeah. Be careful. As a business community, you have to keep learning and learning and learning, because we never stop from learning something new. And I give the mic back to our brother, Mr. Naqib. Yeah, so I'm sure he have many questions to ask. Thank you.
Okay, so a very good sharing there. Uh, some of the keywords that I got from the advice is that first of all is to never give up. Never give up and adapt with the situation. Mean like during the pandemic here, everything has changes. So we need to start to adapt. It's okay to be in the old world. We say the old world, the cash is king type of world.
Yes, correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it is time that it is better for us if we manage to adapt. I mean, we diversify. We still handle cash, and we still handle any other digitalization income. So we
Yeah.
need to adapt, diversify in this. So this start of income, just like Datuk said just now, that if we do tourism and then we during the pandemic we do flowers, then right now we don't stop doing the flowers. Don't stop doing the flower business. Just hire someone to manage your flower business, and you can go back to your tourism industry if your interests are there in that industry, right? So basically, this is what we are trying to promote to other people, that this business in today's world, that digitalization is not something that we we totally change about ourselves. We need to diversify. Yeah, because when we go into the world, yeah, there are so much things to learn and so much other people that can help us. We need to find someone that can help us. So by getting this knowledge, by promoting, joining, diving into this type of world, we need to find someone that can help us, that can lead us towards the right track. Because we are right now we are in a foreign world, digitalization for all people, including myself. Yeah, although my face is not really look like really old, but I'm not really an expert in digitalization world industry. So I need to find someone who are really good in this type of industry, so that I can learn more about them, follow them if they could, be friends with them, join their circles. Yeah, because of that type of person is going to help us. We not going to be friend with them because we want to change who we are, but we want try to adapt into this world in order for us to survive. Because it is important for us to keep managing our income. We need to keep on our cash flow positively. We cannot be so on to be hugely stop the income. We cannot do that anymore. So basically, what I'm trying to say is uh, everything is changing, and it is time for us to change as well, but not change who we are, but we change, diversify. We diversifyly change. We adapt to it. Yeah, this called it is the right word. Adapt instead of changing. We adapt. Yeah, and then for another question that I have in mind during in this
Yeah.
business. So may I know what type of business that you do back then during before the pandemic, and then what are you during the pandemic? What are you trying to do to change your business strategy? May I know about that?
Yes. Okay, Brother. Okay. Thank you very much. Actually, this pandemic has caused a lot of damage. Personally, to me, I at before the lockdown of Malaysia in 18th of March, on 17, my father passed away. and he was hospitalized almost like
Innalillahi wa inna ilaihi
two weeks.
raji'un.
Yeah, and my sister came all the way from Saudi at that time, and then we managed to be with him for almost like 2 weeks before he passed away. But what I'm trying to say, at that time, I was like actually busy with my business in KL and Putrajaya and Sabarjaya as well. And then I went back. So I stayed there for 2 weeks before he passed away, and it was a unique experience whereby when I went back, I mean, everybody was talking about the corona and COVID and the cases increasing, etc. And I was at that time didn't really follow because I was focusing on my father. But when I was, handling my father from hospital to another, the situation was different because the hospital was also different. The hospital changed before my father passed away. One day, the doctor, 2 days after before he passed away, the doctor bring him to ICU. And then after that, at the day, one day after that, he said, tomorrow we will discharge your father. So we was happy. We were happy. But the way that he said discharge was not really clear that my father is okay. So at that time, I was looking at the hospital, and me and my sister, two of my sister and my mother, was actually like looking at the news of the actual scenario outside and this and that, and looking at the local scenario in terms of the situation in Kedah at that time. But what I'm trying to share with you is like this. At the time, the hospital was actually discharging people or downgrading people from ICU to a normal, what they call it, bed or ward, because to prepare for the pandemic or for the corona. So was literally a real time that I never had this experience looking at hospital changing the whole scenario of operation from a normal hospital to a COVID hospital. And at that time, I remember I was at the ICU. There is some what they call it army people from Australia, and lucky, because myself and my sister can understand English well. I mean, they were communicating with the doctors and saying that okay, there is almost 100 army team from Australia are in Langkawi, and they are planning to bring them to the hospital. So I was like thinking, why actually these people are bringing, hospitalized army from Langkawi, originally from Australia, to this hospital in Sungai Petani. But I was like, okay, maybe they have emergency, maybe whatever. So at that time, gradually, I understand that the medical, or the ICU rooms has to be cleared up. So we go, myself and my sister, and ask the doctor, and the doctor says, "Sorry, sir, we actually have been instructed to whatever serious case that they can go along without being at the ICU to transfer to a normal ward." So my sister also working in hospital, so she said to the doctor, "Does you mean that our father is not really well?" He said, he said yes, but actually we want to see how. If until tonight we cannot bring him, he cannot, he's not stable, then we will transfer him to, we will keep him at the ICU. So we only request one small request, because the tune that he was talking to us is not really good. So I was talking to my sister. I said, I think we have to find way, because my mother could not see him, and my mother happened that the same day admitted also to the same hospital. So we make miracle and we ask the doctor, please, please, please help us, so that my mother can see my father at least at the ICU before major changes happen at the hospital. And he said, okay, we will consider. Tomorrow we'll talk about it. So at the morning we went again. Then the doctor said, okay, you can bring your mother for a while. You have to sign your responsibility, and your mother from a ward, normal ward, come to the ICU to see your father. But what I'm trying to share with you here is actually something that related to business, because I'm not talking about my personal things, just to show you the medical scenario, and the major changes of the hospital of ICU, yeah, and the comfort zone that we have been before, and what is the things that we have been a big wave, like a tsunami. So we went together. My mother managed to see my father for a while. Then after that, he said, okay, now we have to make what they call it, a special treatment for your father, but you have to be careful. Maybe he cannot make it. So we managed our mother and put her back to the ward, and me and my sister was actually hoping and looking that I hope that Allah will bless our father. So he passed away the same day, after a few hours after my mother saw him. Okay, the moral of the story that I want to share with you is the scenario that we have been going through, how the hospital changed from a normal hospital to a COVID hospital, or to tackle this COVID pandemic. And the economy turned down. All the at that time, everything was open, has to be closed. Even the hospital itself, the food court, the shops, everything was to shut down. At that time, the shutdown was like a joke. Some people like thought that this is just like maybe 1 or 2, and the government was putting like 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, and every 2 weeks people hope that okay, next 2 weeks it will be okay, next week it will be okay, next week it will be okay. At the same time, after my father passed away, I myself, I was looking to myself around, oh, I need to have a lot of money because I need to manage my family, one part. And my family at that time was in Putrajaya, I was in Kedah. So it's like there is a lot of challenge, but only after my father passed away, and I realized that I've gone through the process of the ICU process. The masjid closed down. The grave also was changed. The policy of the ICU to bear the death. All of that I've gone through it in life, real. So uh, after that, I decided that oh, I have to do something. So I went back to my original basic business, which is food. So I tried to work on pastry. There is opportunity for me to do at that time a beginning glove, mask, and also what they call it, isolation gown. Okay, this special clothes for the medical crew. And I was busy with that after my father passed away, almost 3 months. 3 months was working in gloves and mask and dreaming about big sales. But I find that myself doing what they call it, nothing but international liaison for trading, international trading, but at the end, zero results. 3 months spent in this, what they call it, the circle of selling gloves, the circle of selling masks, the circle of selling this isolation gun, and at that time, not into even vaccination or even COVID test, which is now currently, or even up to this, they call it the liquid of sanitizer. So up to the machine of the sanitizing machine. So in general, my all of my contact at that time has shifted into this business, which is I always put in mind that this is not my line. This is not my business. So I don't know how to do it. So I was doing the food business for a while, pastry for almost like 2 months. I survived a little bit from that, but after that I said, oh, I have to actually strengthen my what they call it food ground because this is cash business, and whatever things in terms of big trading, it's gonna take time, so I leave it for a while. But uh, I was actually not very right, but I make again mistake. Why? Because after the pandemic, what they call it, not over, but the government has loosed down a little bit the movement. As for now, I get excited and I go into big scale of trading. When I go to big scale of trading, again I lost. Then after I lost, I go back to the food and I try to strengthen my food based ground, and again I lost because lockdown. So I really share with you that we should not panic. We should not leave whatever we know best and we do something that we don't know yet. And the most important subject is that to keep your customer happy, because I lost a lot of customers. Even now, I'm losing a lot of customers. Why? Because when you jump right and left, right and left, right and left, this is what this is what kills your business. And I decided, no, I have to, what they call it, firm up my direction in terms of business. So this is where I put a tagline for my business: digitalization rewards of hospitality and infotainment. I think this is what I'm good at. So I go back to my ground basic, go back to my context, and I try to build up this. And now I'm the advisor for Nurflix, for example, a very unique content for Islamic, what they call it, viewership. I'm now in VTrack, a special rewards program for digitalizing of any content of any business, excluding the travel industry. So that's why I'm very passionate towards the digitalization rewards for the hospitality and infotainment. Why I'm looking at infotainment? Because now I'm talking to you with a very nice background, with a very good, nice, handsome gentleman, and everybody, you can see all our, what they call it, activity is towards knowledge, sharing knowledge. So by sharing knowledge, we are grooming our mindset, we are thinking louder, and we are sharing our experience to people. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but at least I'm sharing based on my humble experience. And these 2 years has changed a lot of our mindset to think and address issues. Why? Because the challenge is changing from one to another. You know the customer, you don't know the product. You know the product and you know the customer, but you don't know the situation. And you know everything, but you don't have enough saving. So at the end, it's the ecosystem of the whole structure. That's why when I went to VTrack, I found that they have ecosystem component that I need. So what I've done, I structured my corporate company and I put every component towards that. And now I'm working towards that. I'm happy, very happy to be ambassador of VTrack, to be ambassador of Nurflix, and now we are in Mihas exploring the opportunity to the global market. Thank you, Nakib. Back to you. Thank you.
MashaAllah, thank you very much for sharing the experience with us. So thank you very much. For those who are watching right now, please like this video and share to every group that you know, so that we can also create an awareness towards these people, because pandemic, just like you said, they are affecting not just some people, but all of us. It changes the strategy for all of us. So make sure that if we are doing a business, like a basic the basic things that we must have, even if we are conducting a small operation business, we still need to have a solid vision and mission. Our vision, where which road, which goal that we are going to take. We have to know our path, because if we are unsure about the goals that we are taking, or the road that we are taking, we cannot decide when everything that's happened. We cannot plan properly. So basically, and from that, the vision and mission that we already set apart, yeah, means like we know we set this goal before the pandemic, but then the pandemic changes the goal. So we need to know, we need to identify our strength, our weakness, or any other opportunities and threats that are out there, so that we can change back towards the goals. Because like what Datuk just said right now, it is really hard if we lose our customers, our loyal customers. That is our main source of income. So to lose that is a really hard lesson. So I really appreciate that you share it with us, so that we can realize, we can also understand what will happen if we suddenly change, if we not adapt, but we suddenly change ourselves, our business. So basically, it's like that. We cannot afford to lose our customer, because they are source of income, and they also cannot lose us because they are loyal to us. Like they are loyal. They are with us since the beginning of our business. So to just throw them away like that, it's like you are throwing your goal away, your asset away. That is our asset, if I may call it like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yes.
like I said, that during the pandemic, the health industry was skyrocketing. I mean, like everybody is buying masks, everybody is selling a mask, the glove, the hand sanitizer, and all sort of that. And tourism industry just collapsed.
Yeah.
Everything has stopped moving. Yeah, the plane and airline tickets, but they are adapting. They're not doing things that change the business, but they are adapting. For example, if you look at a company called GSC, the Golden Screen Cinemas, right? Their main revenue is from selling popcorns. Yeah. So when the
Yeah.
pandemic
Correct.
happened, they cannot sell popcorn anymore because nobody is coming to watch their
Yes.
movies
Correct.
and buy
Correct.
popcorns, right? So what they do is that they franchise their popcorn. They sell the popcorn in Shopee, in any types of digital platform out there. They sell their popcorn as a product. Yeah, so that's what they do. They adapt without leaving their customers behind. So it is a very brilliant strategy, and it is once again it is a very great sharing session with you. And this type of business, that this type of strategies we need to think and plan out ahead. So for example, like someone, if you notice there's a business who are selling sambal, right? If you notice it, I forgot the name because I don't eat sambal kering myself,
I
but
see.
but the revenue, the income of it has become like millions of ringgits. Yeah, just because of digitalization, people buy it online. So imagine
Yeah.
if that business is doing the things from shop, right? They're not doing it online, so people may not
Yeah.
know it, and they cannot profit from it. So imagine, even during the pandemic, people can still profit and benefit from it if
Yeah.
we know how the strategy works. Yeah, because digitalization is the way. It is time for us to change, and Alhamdulillah, it opened my eyes to be more prepared and plan ahead to make up a strategy for this during this digitalization era. So okay, so we have another 10 minutes, and I would like to ask last question from Dato. Okay, uh, and first of all, that you said that in this digitalization, okay, that you are joining the company VTrack, and in fact, like now we have our sponsors from SDB, Speed Digital Business Solution, that inquired and encourage all other people. They are right now looking for digital entrepreneurs to come and promote their business, not just in Saudi but around the world. So they are welcoming it. So what do you think about the company called SDBS? Can you share your opinion about this and this
Uh,
opportunity that they offer?
yes. Actually, of course, I actually born in Saudi. I stayed there very long. I know potentially they are going very fast in the ecosystem of digitalization, and Malaysia has been leading a lot of industry that has the learning curve and the experience to what's the implementation of application and also solutions. Plus, we has also opportunity to explore some of our solution locally and internationally, and that bring us as a special what they call it associate partner to the industry. We have also MDEC, MSC status companies. We have many sectors that it's newly with us, but have been already required by the international market. Like for example, Islamic banking, yeah, and also sectors that related to automotive, because we have been already producing automotive compared to other country who does not has that experience. So the ecosystem that we have give us a good opportunity for us to lead this segment. I told the CEO of SDBS that you should be looking in Malaysia into expertise. You should be looking in Malaysia into ideas or projects or solution or apps that has been already proven the concept in Malaysia, or at least have been showcased in Malaysia and also adopted in some country, especially developed country and also country that has probably a similar landscape. But what I'm trying to say here in terms of what should be done with the SDBS towards the digitalization of Malaysia. If SDBS become what they call it a profit or a strategic alliance partner in Saudi Arabia, I believe in MIHAS there is many potential companies, and not only looking at the IT part, but perhaps our creative generation, our creative people, our what they call it high-tech companies who have been innovating a lot of things. Now is a good timing for us to go abroad and sell it to them, yeah, or share it with them in terms of revenue. So what I believe SDBS can be a very good matching for us during MIHAS is that whoever Malaysian company or ASEAN company who has a product or application or solution, and that application or solution has not yet been in Middle East market, Saudi Arabia is the best to start up with, for a simple reason: the purchase power, the government commitment towards the digitalization. They have all the infrastructure ready for you, and not only that, the most important subject, which is if you have the similarity in terms of application, or it's actually based on your experience has been successfully or they call it generating income, then STBS can be a very good strategic partner for you to explore and to share with them. I think I want to use the few minutes more, brother, to visit the booth at Mihas. Can we do so? So that I think our audience can see what is the situation at our Mihas event. So, control, if you can help us with that. Okay. From the beginning of the event, yeah, this is SDBS booth, but I want to go a little bit into sharing with everybody in terms of the booth going. I want to go to the pavilion, okay, so that I can explore with you guys what I meant by that. Okay, so now it's like this. Now SDBS are from Saudi Arabia, based in Middle East, but I'm sure there is a lot of companies at this pavilion, especially from those countries like Indonesia, like Thailand, like Philippines, like Myanmar. Okay, these companies or this regional representative over here in Mihas has, I'm sure, a lot of product that can be suited to Middle East. Okay, but there will be two challenge here for them. The first challenge is the language. The second challenge is actually that you know who is who in the market, because for a simple reason, if you are a big company also, like we have in Malaysia an experience of over 100 plus companies from Malaysia have been registered in foreign investment company in Saudi Arabia to do business, and most of it does not sustain and close down. Half of it probably closed down. But I'm trying to say it's very sadness to have that what they call it back what they call it, or bad scenario. But the good scenario, there is some companies who are still sustaining that. But what I'm trying to say, as a rule for bullish booster program, bullish business program, we really want to address these issue one by one to find solution for that, because we believe understanding the culture, understanding the language, understanding the ecosystem and the political system of the country will help us very, very much to be able to penetrate that market. I really hope that everybody have benefit from our sharing, and I hope that we actually can be together with SDBS to make sure that we don't miss the boat and to be at this segment of Saudi Arabia, visit Saudi Arabia, and also not to forget that for this special month, we're going to have the National Day of Saudi Arabia, the 92 National Day of Saudi Arabia on the 23rd of September. I would like to take this opportunity to wish the King Salman, and the Deputy King Prince Muhammad bin Salman, and all the frontliner of Saudi Arabia who have served all the Ummah from all over the world for the Hajj and Umrah industry, especially, and for the custodian of Masjid Haram and Masjid Nabawi. And we are committed here as business community to make sure that we are able to over this pandemic, and to sustain and stable ourselves to be able to continue jihad economy, inshallah, and to make sure that the ummah will raise, inshallah, together, and we have very good business together. Thank you very much, Brother Naqib. Thank you.
Okay, mashallah. Thank you very much once again for sharing. So like we said, right now we are looking there. Our sponsor, the SDBS, is open up for any digital entrepreneurs. They are looking for a way to promote their project and their innovation towards the world. This is the company that you should. So you can just email your business project here at SDBS online. So this is here, or you can just go to sdbsonline.com, sdbsonline.com. Okay, so this is the service that they are doing. So any of you who have any idea of mobile web application, possibly any types of apps, any types of games that you have, then you can go and check out SDBS online, because what they are trying to find new entrepreneurs, digital entrepreneurs, so that you can expand your business, your ideas, your innovation to the world. Because this is not just it is not just a baby company. It is a company that have been in this industry for more than 20 years. So this is the time that we need. So they are looking for mobile web application, any tech advisory that can provide a consultation to companies. So if you don't have any ideas or any apps, but you have the expertise of consultation in the technology industry, this is your chance to promote yourself, dive deeper into this digitalization world industry. So another one is the innovative business solution. If you have any, provide solution. Possibly if you do a payment gateway that you think that can be upgraded, then it is time for you to give your ideas to this company. And also the e-commerce, any business, any type of e-commerce business that you are in right now, and you want to show to the world, then SDBS is a company that you have to visit. So you can go to SDBS online. Okay, let me write it to you so that you know. SDBS online, which I will put it in the comment section. SDBS okay, this one. So go to this website, okay, sdbsonline.com. Go to this website and submit your project there. Make sure that it is complete, okay, but don't show all the secrets yet, because you know something, right? You have to put some cuts in your sleeve, right? Don't let it all out, but give your idea. Make sure the presentation is interesting so that you can attract them. Make sure you plan ahead before you do something, okay? But don't plan too much, because otherwise your plan won't not get started. You have to plan and then do your plan, execute your plan, so that you will get the result that you will me, and so that you can evaluate it. Fail or not fail, okay, fail or succeed, it doesn't matter. Okay, as long as you do it. Because if you fail, you can evaluate what's wrong with the plan, and you can improvise or you can repair the plan. So yeah, thank you very much for your time. Alhamdulillah. And thanks again to Datuk Haji Rahim. Yeah. And I hope we can see you guys tomorrow in next day, tomorrow, same time, 4 p.m. inshallah. So thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.